Long ago, a war waged between the Olympians and the very first races of giants, called Titans. The war was the Titanomachy, a 10-year-long series of battles. Though they were Titans themselves, two godly brothers, Prometheus and Epimetheus, decided to remain neutral during this time, as they were said to have foreseen the outcome of the war. Some say they were originally Titans, but ended up switching sides. Either way, when the Olympians won and punished the Titans, the brothers did not receive the short end of the stick. Instead, they were given an important task: to populate the Earth. Humans and animals were said to have been made with clay and given the attributes of other Greek gods in order to help them survive and sustain themselves on Earth. The finishing touch was to breathe life into them, which Athena handled. Epimetheus first started off by creating animals, and Prometheus would double-check his work. But by the time he got to creating humans, Epimetheus expended the godly attributes allocated to them. There was nothing left for humans to learn to survive on their own. This shortcoming is also how Epimetheus became known as the god of afterthought. So, because of his brother, Prometheus had to come up with a fiery plan. Pun intended. Quite the trickster, Prometheus would get in trouble with Zeus, the Greek god of all gods, very often. And what Prometheus did next was not surprising at all. He decided to steal fire from Zeus. Prometheus really cared about his creations and wanted humans to be prepared before they went off into the world. In addition to stealing godly attributes, he knew fire would help them survive. It kept them warm, allowed humans to cook their food, and provided a light source. So he borrowed fire and these attributes from Zeus. He just forgot to return them. Although some legends say there was always fire on Earth, and when Prometheus attempted to trick Zeus into eating fat and bone, Zeus took fire away from humans so they'd have to eat their meat raw. And then Prometheus stole the fire. Unfortunately for him, though, Prometheus wouldn't be let off so easily for this crime. When Zeus found out what Prometheus had been doing, he became infuriated. He chained Prometheus to the Caucasus Mountains, where crows fed on his regenerating liver for the rest of time. But before his departure to the mountains, Prometheus told Epimetheus not to trust Zeus under any circumstance. Did you really think the god of afterthought would actually think for once? There was no extinguishing Zeus's anger. Oh, no, not at all. If Prometheus was going to trick him, he thought, why don't I do him one better? And so Zeus created a woman called Pandora and sent her to be married to Epimetheus. All of the gods gifted her the most prized attributes, but Zeus gifted her something more detrimental that would unleash all hell on Earth, disrupting the harmonious world Prometheus crafted. Now, if you haven't watched our video about Pandora yet, we've got you covered. Whew! Who knew that there was all this drama during mankind's earliest years? If you think the torture ends there, think again, good friend. Prometheus refused to tell Zeus which of his children would dethrone him. But can you blame him? I wouldn't think twice about keeping a grudge either. He had one condition, however. Zeus must free Prometheus. And Zeus can't not get his way. You'd be surprised at his devilish track record. So, brimming with impatience, Zeus allowed the Greek god Heracles, or Hercules in the Roman version, to kill the eagle and unchain Prometheus. But after all this mess, there was the flood. Fast forward to some time later, as Hesiod's Theogony states, Prometheus ends up having a kid, Deucalion. By the way, maybe it's news to you, but Zeus tried to destroy humans, like multiple times. He also tried it with the men of the Bronze Age. So, as advised by his father, who knew something worse was yet to come, Deucalion formed a chest filled with provisions and headed to Earth with his wife Pyrrha. And sure enough, enraged with, well, rage, Zeus sent a terrible deluge down to Earth, killing most of mankind. Floating along the treacherous seas, Deucalion and Pyrrha were devastated by what had remained. There was nothing left. Hermes, the messenger god, witnessed all of this from up above, saw their misery, and sympathized with their pain. Unable to bear witness to this catastrophe, Hermes told the godly couple to throw the bones of their mother over their shoulder. Now, what the heck does that mean? Deucalion and Pyrrha were equally as confused, but eventually they understood the riddle. Mother referred to Mother Nature, and her bones were its stones. So they threw the stones over their shoulders, hoping for something, for anything better than this. Slowly, their prayers were answered, and every stone that collided with the earth became a human. Deucalion stones transformed into men, and Pyrrhas became women. No wonder Deucalion is called Savior of Man, like father, like son. The story of this great flood has parallels between a very famous biblical tale. Noah's Ark, anyone? I mean, at least in terms of the quest to save others via a vicious flood, of course. These stories and Greek myths give us just a little bit more insight into how the world came to be, how we came to be. For more Greek mythology and all things legendary, tune in for more videos at Things of Legends.